Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Brandon for VPNFTW, and today we're going to be comparing three popular VPN services, ExpressVPN versus IPVanish versus VyprVPN. And today we're going to be taking a look at some of the features that we believe matter, like the privacy and the encryption, and none of this VPN advertising jargon or affiliate BS. So let's go ahead and hop right into it, you guys. Now, starting with the privacy of these companies. Now, are these companies taking your privacy serious, or are they logging your data? Now, starting with ExpressVPN. Now, according to ExpressVPN's privacy policy, ExpressVPN does not log data or activity on specific users. The only information they do log is the date, not time when connected, choice of server location, and the total amount of data transferred. Moving on to IPVanish. According to IPVanish's privacy policy, no, we do not monitor, record, or store logs for any single customer VPN activity. We have a zero log policy. So both ExpressVPN and IPVanish keep no logs. Now moving on to VyprVPN. Now according to VyprVPN's privacy policy, at VyprVPN we retain the following data for 30 days. The user's source IP address, the VyprVPN IP address used by the user, connection start and stop time, and the total number of bytes used. So VyprVPN is the only VPN on this list to actually be keeping IP logs, but they are not keeping any traffic logs. Now moving on to encryption. Now, are these companies using up-to-date encryption or just leaving their users vulnerable? Now starting with ExpressVPN. Now by default, ExpressVPN uses AES 256 CBC, SHA-512 with a 4096-bit RSA key. On top of all of this, ExpressVPN is the only VPN on this list to enforce perfect forward secrecy. Now perfect forward secrecy is a secure communication protocol that renegotiates your encryption keys every 60 minutes. So that means that even if an attacker were to somehow steal the encryption key, they would only be able to decrypt the traffic for the last 60 minutes because perfect forward secrecy constantly renegotiates your encryption keys, keeping your communication safe. Now, if all that sounds like a ton of gibberish to you guys, I just want to let you guys know that that is actually a highly secure encryption method and some of the top encryption methods you can actually employ to date. Now, moving on to IPVanish. Now, IPVanish employs AES 256. VyprVPN also employs AES 256. So all three of these VPNs right here are using secure encryption. ExpressVPN is just using the most secure by default. Now, moving on to jurisdiction. Now, where are these companies operated out of? Now, starting with ExpressVPN. Now, ExpressVPN operates out of the jurisdiction of the British Virgin Islands, whose jurisdiction actually falls within the United Kingdom, who is a part of the Five Eyes surveillance program. Moving on to IPVanish. IPVanish operates out of the jurisdiction of the United States of America, who is within the Five Eyes spying program. Moving on to VyprVPN. VyprVPN operates out of the jurisdiction of Switzerland, but it should be noted that VyprVPN's parent company, Golden Frog, a portion of it does actually operate out of the jurisdiction of the US, which means that it also does fall in the jurisdiction of the United States. Now moving on to locations. Now how many locations can you connect to on this VPN? Starting with ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN comes in at number 1 in the list, offering 94 countries that you can connect to. VyprVPN comes in underneath that with 70 different countries, and IPVanish comes in last with 60 different countries you can connect to. Now moving on to the features of these VPNs. Now how many simultaneous connections can you have? ExpressVPN comes in on the lower side of this list, offering 3 devices. VyprVPN also offers 3 devices for a lower plan and 5 devices for a higher price plan, and IPVanish offers 5 simultaneous connections at one time. Now moving on to device support. Now are these VPNs supporting major devices? Now all 3 of these VPNs right here support major devices including Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS, routers, and just any device that you guys need supported. All 3 of these VPNs right here support it. Now moving on. Now are these VPNs offering shared or dedicated IP addresses? Now all 3 of these VPNs right here only offer shared IP addresses. Now moving on. Now do these VPNs offer a free proxy? Now both ExpressVPN and VyprVPN both offer no free proxy, but IPVanish does offer a free SOCKS 5 proxy. Now, do these VPNs offer a dedicated DNS? Now, if you guys are unsure as to why you would want a dedicated DNS, here's a picture of a DNS leak. And as you guys can see, it's kind of critical. It kind of defeats the purpose of a VPN. So all 3 of these VPNs right here do offer a dedicated DNS to ensure that no DNS leaks occur. Now, moving on to P2P and torrenting. Now, do these VPNs allow you to torrent on their service? Now, both ExpressVPN and IPVanish allow you to torrent across all their servers. VyprVPN does allow you to torrent, but there have been countless times where users have been identified and actually forwarded DMCA notices, and VyprVPN is actually able to identify users downloading torrents through internal server logs according to this blog post. And moving on, now do these VPNs offer any additional features? Now VyprVPN does offer an additional Chameleon protocol, which is actually a different encryption protocol to allow users within China to actually bypass the Great Firewall of censorship. And VyprVPN does also offer another feature that no other VPN on this list can offer, which is dedicated servers. Now this means that VyprVPN has physical access to all the servers that they run their VPNs on throughout the 70 countries. Now, VyprVPN is able to perform this because their parent company Golden Frog is actually an enterprise internet service provider. Now, moving on to the payment methods accepted. Now, you can pay for ExpressVPN with Bitcoin, credit card, PayPal, or Payment Wall. Now, Payment Wall is an international payment processor who has something like 200 different ways to pay. Now, moving on to IPVanish. Now, you can pay for IPVanish with Bitcoin, credit card, PayPal, and they have about a dozen alternate payment methods for international users. Now, moving on to VyprVPN. Now, you can pay for VyprVPN with a credit card, PayPal, or Alipay. Now, moving on to the price, what we are all wondering. Now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and just round up the price. So if it's 95 cents, I'm going to round it up to $1. Now, starting with ExpressVPN. Now, ExpressVPN offers a 1-month plan at $13, a 6-month plan at $60, or a yearly plan at $100. Now, moving on to IPVanish. Now, IPVanish offers a monthly plan at $10, a 3-month plan at $27, or a 1-year plan at $78. So moving on to VyprVPN. Now, as we mentioned earlier, VyprVPN does have 2 different plans. So if you guys want to have 3 simultaneous connections, it's either $10 per month or $60 per year. Or if you guys want to have 5 simultaneous connections and access to the Chameleon protocol, it's either $13 per month or $80 per year. Now, which VPN is right for you? Now, this really depends on what you're looking for. We can't go ahead and just tell you the best VPN for your needs, but we personally like ExpressVPN. Now, it is very unfavorable that ExpressVPN is one of the most expensive VPNs on this list, but we really do enjoy that ExpressVPN has a clear-cut no-log policy. They use some of the top encryption methods to date, and they have over 94 different countries that you can connect to. Now, IPVanish is also another great VPN on this list who has a clear-cut no-log policy, but it is unfavorable that they operate out of the jurisdiction of the United States of America. And moving on to VyprVPN. Now, VyprVPN is a great VPN. They offer dedicated hardware in the Chameleon protocol, but just those IP logs. Those IP logs are not favorable for the level of privacy that we enjoy. So we personally recommend ExpressVPN or IPVanish. So I hope you guys enjoyed this VPN comparison. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe to VPNFTW if you guys want to see more comparisons or reviews just like this in the future, and let us know what your guys' thoughts on this comparison or your guys' thoughts on these companies are. So I hope you guys are all out there staying secure.